Person Award. So
Yes,
how do
indeed.
you feel about it?
Yeah, great, of course, and it's such an honor to win this prize actually, and also looking to the fellow nominees. Yeah, great people doing a tremendous job, and they really deserve to win this prize as well. Maybe even more than I did, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, happy with it.
Yes, and why do you think that then you won it? So I assume that that's very much related to the Dutch Blockchain Coalition and
Yeah.
the impact that you have been making with that.
Yeah, of course, that makes sense. And I started at the beginning of this year at the Dutch Blockchain Coalition as the new coalition manager.
Yeah.
Same time, I'm already working in this space for 6-7 years. So maybe a lot of people know me. So that's also, of course, that helps with those nominations. But indeed, with the Dutch Blockchain Coalition, at least we try to support the movement into a more decentralized world using decentralized technologies, and we try to bring the community, not only the Dutch Blockchain Coalition community, but also the bigger community in the Netherlands and abroad together. And that's really relevant, I think.
No, indeed. And maybe for the people who are not too familiar with the Dutch Blockchain Coalition, what do you do? How did you get started with this? Even if you joined just in January?
Exactly. I joined at the beginning of this year, but the Dutch Blockchain Coalition was founded around 6 years ago. So already an old coalition. It's typically a private-public partnership. So we have some governmental parties within our coalition, knowledge institutions, so universities and universities of applied sciences, corporates, big banks, companies like Shell and Microsoft and so on, and quite a few startups.
Nice.
So that's a coalition. So it's actually a collaboration forum. It's not an actual company or so. And we do basically 3 things. The community, of course. We try to run a strategic dialogue, especially with policymakers and the industry, of course. And we develop use cases, especially looking at the important missions for the Dutch government. So
3 pillars, and I also can see that you have different kinds of stakeholders involved. So how do you see the difference in these stakeholders in approaching the topic like Web3?
Yeah, that's a good question, and there is of course a big difference also in perspective from those 3 groups. Looking at the government, it depends, because you cannot say the government. It depends on which part you are talking about.
Yeah.
Some, for example, the tax authority is very interested in the technology to learn from it.
Okay.
We also see opportunities, but also challenges now with regard to tokenization, to cryptocurrencies, and so on. And on the other side, also, the regulators, etc. You have to, take them along with you, and try to at least inform them about what's going on, how in our belief it should be regulated, what's working and what's not. And on the other hand, knowledge institutions, of course, they'd like to do a lot of research on all those topics like identity and so on. And the companies, they want to get real innovation and adoption. So I think if you want to make a real breakthrough with the technology, you want to really make impact, you need all those stakeholders.
No, indeed, I totally agree, and I think that the fact there are also different challenges, this means there are also different needs, and it's good to kind of sort out the way that this technology can indeed treat different needs. But then you also mentioned use cases, so maybe you can mention one of the best use cases that you can think that blockchain technology can help us with.
There are many relevant use cases, I would say. One already mentioned a couple of times today is about identities. So digital identities based on decentralized technology for not only people but also for companies and objects. Think about, for example, the digital product passports, very relevant for circular economy, etc. But another very good example of a use case we have been working on a couple of years right now is the electronic bill of lading together with Port of Rotterdam and DocLab, also one of the winners today.
Yeah, indeed, I just finished.
Yeah, oh yeah, you had them here before me, yeah, great. And the electronic bill of lading is a tokenized version of a bill of lading, a very important, it's called a negotiable document, so you can actually transfer it to somebody else, and then they can claim the actual goods in the port.
Interesting.
It's a very interesting and also a relevant use case, and now the technology is ready. Everything is already developed a couple of years ago, but it's all about the law, because the law requires right now a bill of lading with a wet signature.
Yeah.
And a wet signature, that's a little bit difficult digitally. So we are already working, I think, 2 years on a change in the law, and it's currently moving step by step into the good direction, and then hopefully it can go to the parliament to get.
You as an impactful person, you said that you started about 6-7 years ago. So why did you get interest into blockchain in the first place?
Oh wow, good question. I think it was already in 2013 that I did some experiments with some cryptocurrencies to basically to understand, and looking back now, I don't think I really understand it at that moment in time. But okay. And then in 2016, the end of 2016, I was working for a mid-size IT company, and back in those days we were exploring which kind of new technologies and trends we should focus on, and at that time on all those Gartner lists was blockchain. And so we thought, well, that's interesting. Let's have a look at it. Let's do a little deep dive in it, and that took my interest as well, because I have a background in information management, so I have a technical background, but also interested in business models, etc. Yeah. And I see what I see with blockchain is that it is a technology that can actually change the way how we do businesses together with each other by using technology. Yeah. And that's interesting. And since I investigated some time into blockchain, I thought, well, if you want to do more with that, you should change your career. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And and now we are here. We are here.